Female farmer found dead at home in Westmoreland. A 60-year-old woman was found dead at her home in Westmoreland on Thursday. She has been identified as Doreen Cox, a farmer of Lennox Big Woods. Reports are that about 5:50 p.m., Cox was found dead on a sofa with blood coming from her nose and mouth and marks around her neck. Investigation is being undertaken by the Darlington police. 2 men gunned down in Patrick City. 2 men were shot and killed in Patrick City, St. Andrew on Thursday. They are Raheem Nelson, 29, a taxi operator, and Keith Donaldson, 34, also known as Ship, a business operator. Another man was also injured during the incident. The Doheny Park police report that about 7:45 p.m., Nelson and Donaldson were sitting along the roadway near the intersection of Conway Drive and Aberville Avenue when they were approached by a lone gunman. The gunman reportedly opened fire before escaping on foot in the area. Nelson and Donaldson succumbed to their injuries at hospital. Jamaica recorded 117 murders up to the end of February this year, a 35% decline, or 63 fewer when compared to the corresponding period last year, according to the latest police data. The St. Andrew South Police Division recorded 19 murders over the 2-month period, one more than the similar period last year, the data shows. Mavada's son murder conviction squashed by a court of appeal. The Court of Appeal has squashed the murder convictions and sentences of Dante Brooks, son of dancehall entertainer David Mavada Brooks, and his co-accused Andre Hines. The decision was handed down on Friday morning. We respect the judicial process at all levels and are pleased that the Court of Appeal has ruled in our favor. This decision reaffirms the merits of our case and underscores the important legal principles at stake, Tamika Harris, one of the attorneys at law who represented Brooks during the initial trial, told reporters in a statement. The court heard that the appeal on December 10 and 11 last year and later reserved judgment. While the journey through the courts have been challenging, I remain hopeful. I appreciate the Court of Appeal's careful consideration of the matter and its ruling. We remain dedicated to upholding the rule of law and ensuring that our clients' rights and interests are fully protected, Harris stated. Attorney at law Hugh Wellman, representing Brooks during the appeal, prominent attorneys Peter Champagny, Oswest Senior Smith, and Harris has represented Brooks during the initial murder trial. In 2021, then 18-year-old Brooks was sentenced to life imprisonment for the 2018 killing of Lorenzo Thomas in Cassava P, St. Andrew. Thomas was shot, beheaded, and his body set ablaze. Brooks was ordered to serve 22 years before becoming eligible for parole. Hines was also sentenced to life imprisonment. He was ordered to serve 17 years before becoming eligible for parole. Both were also sentenced to 15 years behind bars for arson. Attorney Oswest Senior Smith, who represented Hines at the appeal, said verdicts of acquittal were entered for both men on Friday. He reserved comment on the case until the written decision had been published and disseminated. I want to write and digest it properly first before commenting, Senior Smith stated. I know that certain grounds were common to both appellants as it pertains to the directions that the judge gave and the credibility of the witness. I would like to see the written decision first so I can comment in a more informed way. Kudos to the team. A lot of hard work went into process, he noted. Senior Smith and Kemma Robinson represented Hines at the appeal. Senior Smith said there were several grounds of appeal, including on the evidence of visual and voice identification. Education Minister says access to education for students with disabilities must be improved. Education Minister Dr. Dina Marsh-Dixon says access to education for students with disabilities must be improved. She made this statement at a special education seminar hosted by the Jamaica Teachers Association and the Shortwood Teachers College. The Education Minister, who noted that she has special needs children, highlighted the challenges in accessing aid. She said research shows that many special education students are not enrolled in schools. She also encouraged parents not to keep special needs children away from the society.
But while progress has been made, we must acknowledge the significant challenges. The needs are great, and many have not been met. For too many children with special needs, the education system has not always provided them with the support they deserve. Long before I became Minister of Education, I have two children with varying degrees of special needs, one with very severe special needs, one with ADHD. So I've been in the system, and I have seen the problems in the system. I have spoken to other parents because I'm at a school with special needs children, and I understand how depressing it can be when you have conversations with these parents. When their children have all of these needs, they need occupational therapy, they need speech therapy, they need a whole heap of different therapies, and they're not cheap. Now consider this, the 2022-23 school census found that while between 40,000 to 61,000 students in Jamaica may have disabilities, only 6,000 students with reported disabilities were identified in the general education system, and only 3,700 students were enrolled in special education schools. I'm not about prettying things up. I think we have to speak with the facts, and we need to fix the things as we see them.
Tourism Ministry seeking to regularize another river close to White River in Ocho St. Anne. The Tourism Ministry is seeking to regularize another river close to the White River in Ocho St. Anne. Portfolio Minister Edmund Bartlett made the disclosure during a meeting of the Standing Finance Committee. He was responding to questions posed by opposition member Fitz Jackson about measures being taken to allow rafters at the White River, who have been displaced since last month, to resume their operations. As of February 13, illegal rafters have been prohibited from operating at the river. Noting that the river was attracting a population, which he described as unhealthy, Mr. Bartlett said the security forces had to intervene. He explained that a clear, hold and reset system has been established. Mr. Bartlett said the next step is re-engagement. He added that a nearby river is being looked at for the regularization.
The clearing means to take control of the space early in the process so that the stakeholders are engaged by involving them in planning and decision making. And those discussions have been had. The TPD team has been there. We've been talking with the local stakeholders for them to buy in to the way in which the asset has to be treated in order for it to be sustainable. The second is to hold, and that is to conduct now additional research to assess the feasibility of regularizing the unmanaged space. That is to say, those people who are illegal, we can get them to become legal. In other words, to train them and for them to understand what their responsibilities are, and for also to be equipped to provide the 3 S's we want: safe, secure, and seamless operation. And finally, to reset. Regulate through collaboration with the Jamaica Constabulary Force and other relevant partners the resetting of the whole arrangement. Full training, full upskilling, and the enablement through business development guidance. Having been in the reset phase now, we're ready for re-engagement. And I'm pleased to advise that the focus on the local players. In addition to that, we have increased the number of activities around that area. And we are looking at regularizing another river close by so as to enable, yes, there is another river that is now being looked at for regularization, near enough to enable others, yes.
RADA urges people to become livestock officers. The Rural Agricultural Development Authority RADA is encouraging interested individuals to consider becoming livestock officers. Senior livestock specialist with RADA, Maxine Brown, told reporters that currently there is only one livestock officer per parish. It can be quite challenging for one officer to try to serve all the needs of the farmers, and we understand too that the extension officer are under pressure. If they could just get an assistant, that would be great because agriculture is growing. As we grow and we start to expand, more persons are coming into the industry as well as more investors. So it becomes more and more pressuring, she stated. In the recent interview, Brown said that the side of the authority, there is a need to build out livestock capacity in RADA. We want to ensure that we're getting adequate support to the farmers because it can be challenging. I have been to the workshops before with other countries, and they have poultry specialists separate from pig specialists, which are different from the small ruminant specialists, she noted. Maybe these are some of the things that we may have to look at in the future, having specialized persons for different categories of livestock to give better focus to them, she added. Currently, livestock officers work in the field to help identify problems associated with animals and collect data on existing livestock. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.